A lot of people have the question, why is it that artists aren't going viral anymore? And the simple answer is within this interview. Now, this channel is amazing. It's the manager's playbook because it has so much insights directly from people within the industry, successful managers and successful people within the industry all coming down to pour their knowledge. So you guys should definitely subscribe to their channel 100%. And as we dive deep into the video, let's learn some game.
You can't point to any artist who had any traction, motion, blow up, anything pre-2023 because it was a different world then.
What changed?
Just oversaturation.
Okay. You think it just hit a point?
It just hit a point where like, yeah, at some point, like Nick D is great. And he was like, probably like not the first, but the first with traction to just take a camera that was better quality than an iPhone and lip sync in front of a camera.
Right.
Like he was like one of the first. There was a point in time where taking the concept of a budgeted music video and condensing it down to 22 seconds and just your chorus, there was a time in 2020 where that was innovative.
So let's talk about the marketing and the content then. So is there anything else?
Now, for those that don't know who Nick D is, I've actually reacted to him on this channel already. You can literally just go back and I believe it's the reaction video where I'm talking about how to make it as an independent artist or something like that, but he's in the thumbnail, etc. So definitely watch it because he gives such valuable insights. And when I actually purchased his ebook, a lot of the things he was saying is stuff that, again, you'll think is common sense, but in reality is not. Like, he lays down some principles that actually talks about what actually led to his success and how he's able to make more than a lot of artists in the game right now, how to be successful as an independent act as well. So I'm very, very intrigued to hear what this guy actually has to say. And for those that don't know, the guy talking in the video is actually Nick Ruffalo. He actually talks about how to actually become successful at music marketing. So I definitely give this guy a follow and look at what he actually has to say because a lot of the things he has on his page is very, very insightful. For sure.
Do you want to add when it comes to the brand side of things? I'm sure we'll touch back on it.
We'll probably end up circling back when we get into everything. But I think the main takeaway just for the audience is like branding is more than just a visual identity. It's what you represent. It's what people will walk away saying. Everyone knows what the Coca-Cola can looks like, but you also have been inundated with commercials, which is the content and the marketing showing people drinking it at the beach and happy. And it's like, okay, Coke is for parties, for the beach, for good times. That's what it represents. That's the setting in which it represents. Your music, what setting? That's a big one that we always talk about. Like what setting and branding is what gets the viewer, the fan, to that conclusion of like, this artist is who I listen to when I drive home at night because they poured so much of themselves out in their content. And the way that they've talked about these songs and these like horrible experiences that led to the super sad song. Like when I'm in my feels at night, that's when I listen to it. So like the content is just the pipeline message where branding kind of gets fed into to give people that sense of feeling of like, this is what the music's for. This is what this person represents. And you need all of it. Content.
I believe that what he's saying is very accurate. Content is, I would say, is like the visualizer of the artist's brand. What does the artist represent within their lyrics, within, the beats and the entire sonics, even down to the mixing and mastering? You got some songs that if you give it too much of a clean mix and master, for example, I'm talking from an engineer's perspective. If you give it too much of a clean mix and master, it might rob, the rawness and the integrity of the song, vice versa. So it all comes down into this one thing. Who is the brand? What does this artist's brand represent, and how do not only fans connect with this brand, but how does the artist want the fans to also connect with the brand? These are so many questions that need to be asked by artists and aren't getting asked anymore, either because artists don't know to ask those type of questions, or the people within the team are just doing the artist disjustice, by not actually doing all this type of homework. So it's very, very important to allow this to be translated through the content. Another example of this is that when people are doing certain pieces of content, for example, they're always asking, okay, why is it that this content piece works and this doesn't? I always say it's down to the brand. And let me give you an example. If you are, for example, a drill artist, right, and you're doing a drill song in a coffee shop, unless you're doing it for shock value, people will kind of be like, bro, what's this guy kind of doing? Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you're a drill artist and maybe you're in some way that people can resonate with, maybe in the hood, but then how you're doing it, you're dressing up a tiny bit different, you have different type of props in the short form clips, etc., then maybe that can resonate a tiny bit more. Another one that so as much as you want to push out a message, you have to make sure you're being very, very intentional about how, you know, the music and also the content is intertwining together.
Let's get into the content then. Let's define what that means from your perspective.
Content in 2025 is really everything that is out there. Like, this is content right now. This is going to be long form content. It will become short form content. It will become medium sized content because you know how to hack the algorithm and you do 20-minute bits of the 2-hour bit because he knows what's up.
I know what's up. But I think, and this is something that was identified by a good friend of mine, Brian Espiritu, who helped me with the brand Bible for my overall company, Ato Faint. And I use this as a North Star all the time. But I think of my company and this podcast as the sage, always trying to give value, always giving information, always doing my best. That's what I lead with all the time. So the content is informed by that at all time, which is why I think it works. Because I'm clear on that direction with the content. Go on.
100%. Content is everything. And I think I was going to get to this at some point, but now's a good time to bring it in a micro level because this is like a 30-minute tangent if we want. I don't want to go there yet, but you have so much power as the artist today because if you're not willing, no one can force you in front of the camera.
Yeah.
No one can force you to press post. And if you're not a level 5, 6, or 7 on the artist ladder superstar where there's enough content, aka footage, visual representation of you, photos, paparazzi videos, freaking fan front row that can at least populate the airwaves, you're not going to make noise. So like if you are a superstar, you don't have to post anything at all because there's going to be enough fans and fan pages or paid for and organically started and enough just content of the artist that circulates that they don't have to post. You have so much power as an artist now because you have to press post to make a difference. The labels know that. Everybody knows that.
You see, I love what this guy is saying. A lot of people look at the downside of, oh yeah, the algorithm changes so fast and people have short-lived moments and this and that. But we've never seen a point in time where people can literally go from literally nothing into the biggest people in the world within a matter of, let's say, 2 to 3 years, let alone before it used to be maybe 10 years, 5 to 10 years that it will take for someone to actually get to that point. People are doing it in 1 to 3 years now. Insane. A few examples in the UK. We got Central C. He did that. Yes, he had the run before, etc. But from the point he had that first smash, all of a sudden, boom, now he's the biggest act in the UK. We have Nems. He's another great example. Another great example is Leo Stay Trill. I remember seeing literally everything. He went from obviously getting a bit of buzz and people around in the scene, they knew him and they liked his rapping style, etc. I was still growing into it, to be very, very honest. But when he did the Pink Lemonade freestyle, bro, forget it. That gone. Do you know what I mean? That was gone. You feel me? And then from there, I'm so happy that Ade has had experience from managing previous artists in the past. He knew how to capitalize on that moment. And as a result, look at Leo Stay True right now. Do you get what I'm saying? So content changes lives. Do you know what I mean? It's going to change my life. I know. I'm going to stay consistent. I got the right people telling me, for example, like the other day, Bouncer literally followed me, bro. Like, I think I need to, oh yeah, I've made a video about it already, but bro, I've started creating content because of Bouncer. Do you know what I mean? The guy followed me and was like, yeah, keep it up, bro. What you're doing is well. Do you know what I mean? So, bro, like, content is going to change my life. As an artist, you need to make sure that the content changes yours as well.
Right.
So the ones who can press post and do it well, but know that you can't do anything unless that artist buys in and press that post button.
Yeah.
Nothing can be done.
Yes.
Everything now.
Yeah. And the content also is the music. Well, let's not get, that's the most important piece of the content, in my opinion. We talk about it a lot. You know, he did one song a week. Nick D does, I think he does one song every 2 weeks. So what I love to know just is...
At the same time, though, I want to be very, very fair because he only named 2 examples there. Yes, we do have artists that are killing it independently. But in terms of the artists that are able to make it to the point where they're hitting, 30, 40, 50K type of months, once a week, once every 2 weeks, it's possible. Don't get it twisted, but we're still yet to see more cases of that actually happen and being successful. Do you know what I'm saying? So for anyone listening to this, I don't want to overstress you guys and think that, you have to release music as often as that. But at least, in my opinion, a new song should be coming out around like 6 to 8 weeks. In my opinion, and each one should be treated with a campaign, meaning at least 2 to 3 weeks before, you're teasing the song. When you drop the song, you're going even harder on the promotion. And even after that, you still need to have points where you're posting about the song, maybe putting some paid spend, so on and so forth. Because you got so many cases of it. Songs that blew up years after. A song like, for example, Booed Up by LMA. That blew up, I believe a year or two after from when it released. And that's simply because they didn't allow the song to die. They kept on pushing it. Another example of this is the song with Wizkid and Thames, Essence. People don't realize that when the Made in Lagos album came out, everyone thought that the tune with Burna Boy, I believe it was Ginger, that was going to be the smash hit, etc. But it wasn't until almost a year after, or a couple months after, I can't remember, it was probably like 10 months after, all of a sudden Essence starts to pick up some motion. Gone. Do you know what I'm saying? Now look at Thames' career. Like, she is clear. You feel me? So you need to believe in your source. You need to believe in your music and give it the marketing that it deserves. You can only do that if you're consistent in terms of posting content. So guys, I promise to make these videos as short as possible, but as impact driven as possible as well. Make sure to subscribe to these guys' YouTube channel because there's so much insight. You're probably gonna see a lot of reaction videos to these guys' content. I can't lie, man, because bro, what they have going on is proper. I can't lie. But other than that, I'll make sure to see you guys tomorrow. Make sure to comment anything else you want me to react to or anything you want me to bring some, game on, I guess.